Normally, I need to talk about Los Ratatones, the T1 breakup, Hunter Life Esports getting lucky, the LTA keeping the two most dominant teams together for like next year, and all of those stuff. But today, it's not the day to do that. Today, I need to talk about something different. Today, I'll be talking about a murder that is taking place within our own ecosystem. I'm not going to talk about the what, who, when, why, and how of the murder. That'll be too much of an argument to even produce. I will be telling you a story about that murder, about how the murder take place and why they have to do this to even the cruelest of people. Why it hurts a lot of people but doesn't shock much, why it keep continuing to happen even though there are many people who are angry about it. I am talking about a certain murder that is captivating the nation but never even see the front pages. But in order for me to talk about the murder, I have to talk about the history of that person. And I will not be using my words. That will be taking way too long of a video to even discuss. I'll be showcasing the reason why all of this is happening and why the murder takes place in pictures. For so many years, this region has been the second most dominant, most brilliant, most watched about region, not named T1 and not named Faker and not named LCK. For so many years, these players grind and work their way up to produce incredible team play that produce success on the international scale, the likes we have never seen before. From winning MSI after so many years of pain to finally becoming the team that can claim their stake as international domination in a world's format, to finally cracking one in MSI after so many years. These are the stories that people wanted to tell, but never even got the light of day. And for those couple of years, the people were the ones who put the stories in. These are the faces who used to work for that specific region, who used to put the storylines in their mouths, to put their voices, their analysts, their statistics about all the great hits that this region has produced. The wombo combos, the incredible team fighting, the magnificent skill plays, the unbelievable plays. These guys have been the one that has given you guys hard work and dedication night in and night out. It's the region that I woke up to when I listened into it. It's the region why I sleep. It's the region that many people analyze but never even got the time of day. And yet, for so many years, these people were the ones that created the story. And unfortunately, someone has to stop the story from happening. Someone in no surprising order has to make sure that the story will die, no matter how much success they have done, no matter how much incredible moments that they produce, no matter how much good things that have happened to the region. Sadly, it has to die for their own cheapness amusement, for their own crustacean magnificent. This region has to die. And it has to die in a slow, painful manner. Not with a bang, not with choking, but with a slow putting down of a dog. It is a cruel, horrendous, heinous act that has been taking place within the confines of a couple of days. And it's sent horrible shockwaves. The stories that people are supposed to tell are no longer there. The people, the players that are supposed to play there are in a faraway country that has been stripped of cash, cheapened themselves, and never even get to see it. The problem is we get to see them play, but from a different language, a language that nobody understands, and nobody even wants to spend 6 freaking months on like Duolingo to even learn about. And unfortunately, they have to be the ones to pull the plug. Not because of money, but because of themselves. because of who they are and what can they do if you even speak out about it. I did mention my LTA video that'll be the state police, and they did, in the most cruel way impossible. On Monday, November 18th, 2024, the LPL English that has been captivating our audiences since 2016 with Atlas, Papa Smitty, and so many of beautiful faces has been pronounced dead, right at the heart of Riot Games' feet. And nobody, and I mean nobody, was surprised because of it. And the problem with that murder, it's not because of what it happens. It's the way they phrase it. Like a policeman telling them that we murder a bad guy who smoked a lot of cocaine or snorted a lot of cocaine, even though the person did not even laid a single finger about it or haven't done any drugs. They just wanted to do it because they feel like they're the good guys here. But they're not the good guys. And trust me, the reaction to this news sent shockwaves to many people. People who have their families and their lives and all the beautiful, beautiful work they have done. All of it gone to waste because of themselves, because of the cheapness of Riot, because of everything. Look at all these faces. Look at the reaction to it. This is a region that has produced 2 world championships in the last couple of years. So many MSIs. First MSI winner in EDG long ago. All of this, all of the stories being told has been slashed, cut down, and murdered without even a care in the world. This is what you killed, Riot. This is the stories that you killed. These are the faces that you've murdered for your cheapness and endorsement. All of that for the name of co-streaming, which, to be fair, co-streaming is the future of League in the weirdest way possible. Turns out that co-streaming, the things that you have killed, actually is the thing that makes your League sports better. Who knew? I mean, it's weird enough, but who knew that will happen? And now you decided that co-streaming is the future. But unfortunately, you've realized that the thing that makes this region so good in terms of storylines and telling, it's going to be dead, undead. It will be choked out and never to see the light of day. I know many people are going to still be working about it, but unfortunately, the quote the 1974 movie, forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown. Nothing you can do and nothing you can say, it's going to make everything better. You could cast a million LPL matches, tell millions of stories, but in the reality, Riot will never even care about you. Take a look at Asterix and Dagda. They decided to forego their RNG, EDG, incredible rivalry from years past to be cast in Rogue and Giant X, the absolute skibbity slider of a region. And this is not to disrespect the 2 regions, but that's how far down the totem pole they have to go in order for them to even get a lick of international success. The writing on the wall this year, when they realized Riot doesn't care about the LPL anymore, was the fact that they have no LPL casters, nor LPL desks, except for a few LPL casters who, by the way, had to work day in and day out from a crappy region in order for them to get what they want. That's the reality of this situation. In order for you to get to the international stage, you have to go down on your knees and have to cast a absolute dog shit of a region. And that's not even the worst part. While Namira, Lyric, and all these other people have to work hard in order to create the stories of these regions, they have to go to a different region and have to get there in order to get them what they want. And the problem is, neither of these casters have to do any single thing of co-streaming, have to work with so much remote hours, have to grind in the hours and hours to pour in their story. And for what? Because Riot will never even call you. Now you're asking yourself, what's the retaliation? Where's the retaliation about this? Where is the anger? Where's the furious? Let me say that again. Riot Games is officially now the state police. They will do whatever you want, and any form of retaliation, any form of miscomment, any form of little bit of noise or anger towards them will immediately cause you unemployment. And consider how really bad Riot has paid their casters over the last couple of years, it will be like an easy thing to just cut them off right now. They could cut Lyric tomorrow morning or Nymera tomorrow morning if they have to, because they can do whatever the flip they want. And they can get away with it. They could call Annalise Keaton for all I know, because they know how to get away with murder time and time and time and time again without no remorse for human life. Or any life, of course. Now, if you wanted to listen to all of this, there's a video by Dom reacting to all of these things. And there's a little bit of Summon and Insight clip that Monty and Thorin actually talked about during the Summon and Insight recording that I'm going to link in below. But this is my 2 cents about it. The LPL is dead. And no, I'm not talking about the region, nor the teams, nor anybody else. The LPL as a whole is dead. It is never going to get the light of day unless some other casters have to go to LEC and LTA or LEC or the Pacific regions or something, or have to go to a different game with a different genre with different abilities. Unless you can do that, you're frick. You're screwed. You're absolutely screwed, and there's nothing you can do. There's no corners to turn to. There's nothing you can protest to. You are stuck in a default. You are stuck being an NPC character for any Riot Games purpose. You're like Boris the shopkeeper. All you just have to do is to hand over items to champions and let them walk. Time and time and time again, and there's nothing you can do about it. If I were them, I feel like I want to be a Zon member in Revolt. Just like Arcane or something. I feel like I wanted to protest. But the problem is that they can do whatever they want and there's nothing you can do. You can't even make Chris Greeley, who by the way is in charge of the League of Legends esports, to even save face. You can't even make Greeley say the statement and talk about it. But instead, they decided that Twitter is the most important place to hide their feelings, to hide the disgust without even a single remote of rebust. Do you know that millions of people are fleeing to Blue Sky right now because of Elon Musk and Trump decided to take over and make themselves a place of hate? Do you know that? This is, by the way, I'm not even the one talking politics. My dad is actually involved in it. But you know how bad it is that many people are moving to Blue Sky instead of X. The amount of hatred that is happening right now, it's appalling to say the least. I'm not even doing the Trump dance to even show you about it. But the point is that to all my employees of the LPL who has been working for so many years, it is time for you to quit. It is time for you to quit to a new esports, or is it time for you to quit entirely? Mazel doesn't have to put up with this. He has a wife and kids. So does Munchables. He got married like a year ago, of course. He doesn't need this. He doesn't need the LPL nor Riot to carry his load anymore. He can sit home for the rest of his life. He could get to another job. He could do another esports if you have to. There's the Overwatch League. Or, by the way, the Overwatch League series, of course. There's CSGO. There's Dota 2, a similar mobile game to what League of Legends slop that have put them for 15 years. You can do that game as well. I will not push you. And I will not be surprised if that happens. I will not be surprised if you decided to do Dota or something. I will not be surprised if Jamada worked for McDonald's like his hat said. I'm not surprised if any person decided to work for another esport again because Riot keeps screwing these people over and over again and never even got to apologize or say fate or even come up and tell them the truth. We're not angry because you decided to kill all the LPL. We're angry because you never even say the truth. The absolute quietest part out loud. You decided to PR your way to some people who are thinking you're dumb. But brother, we are not as dumb. Not everybody has a high school education as you are, Riot, but we are not as dumb as you people think. We're more grown, we're more matured, and we have played your stupid game for 15 years knowing each and every single ability from the top of your tongue. We can even throw Noxon's revelation on you guys if we have to. It sickens me. It sickens me that a region that has so many stories have been murdered, just like Ben Herbstreit has been put down because he has a cancerous tumor. And that's a real thing. You think murdering, you think putting out a dog is horrible? How about putting out a region that has millions and millions of people, camera work, statisticians, translators, all these casters, analysts, all these good people being gone by the wayside? They never even got a proper desk. Riot Games is a $300 million company, and they never even put their hands in their pocket, reach out, and give them hundreds of thousands of dollars to even put them on a desk. At least put them on a desk will be nice. At least give them a proper studio in Ireland like they did with Striker. At least give them something to be sustainable about. But no, they never got to do that. They let them die on a vine or literally die on a hill because they can do whatever they want. They care about the Western regions. Even though the Western regions have not been remotely successful as the other Eastern regions. Do you know that FlyQuest actually won more games from the West in the last 4 years than any LPL and LCK team combined? Even Weibo Gaming has won more games than FlyQuest over the last 4 years. Weibo Gaming! And they're fraudulent as heck! So you're telling me that you killed off the LPL English broadcast to bring co-streaming just because your Western mind thinking that the LTA and the LEC is better. Newsflash, they're not. They're like the Southampton and Crystal Palace and Ipswich of the world. Nobody gives a damn about these regions. Listen, I'm from Jamaica, by the way. I am below the LTA standard right now. But I know better region when I see one. And I look at LCK and I look at LPL as two of the best regions of the world in terms of player style, in terms of gameplay, in terms of every single metric up and down the bottom that could be capable enough of beating every single team in the world. I look at the LPL and LCK as that. And yet the LCK is being treated like a royal citizen while the LPL has to be sitting in the peasants, feeding scraps. And that's not nice. The way you treated them by not having one caster, at least in desk and on casting duties, it hurts. It hurts so much. It hurts so much for these people. And listen, I am not saying that the LPL needs to, get away with it. I'm saying give them a chance to showcase, to tell their story, to showcase them. But you never did. You never decided to give them the stories about it. You never even decided to give them the light of day. You decided that it's best to block that out. It is best to cheapen your pocket, and it's best for everyone that co-streaming is the future. Well, buddy, here's the thing. Co-streaming is the future, but you just don't know how long. We don't know what Riot Games will be like in 5 years' time. We don't know what League of Legends will be like in 5 years' time. It might be a dead game for all I know of. The future of esports, or pretty much any esports in general, has to come from the people. The people are the ones that are running these things. You know what Emily Rand said in 2014? They were a people-ran league. 2014 is where you invest your pockets now. 2014 was supposed to be your time, right, to invest in their region and make it popular so that every single person can learn from it and shine from it. This is where careers started. This is where Papa Smitty and Atlas and Hysteric and Dagda and Emily Rand get their chops from. This is where their careers started. This is where they honed their careers. Raz and all these other people. I watched the 2018 LPL spring with Froskurin and all these kind of people. We came from having people on the desk to now having like Nymera and Entitleize doing co-streaming, of course, from their bedrooms. And this is not a disrespect to those guys. This is how far down the lower and order, how bad it is. This is how stripped down the situation is for right now. Riot Games have committed the absolute heinous murder and they got away with it. Because it's Riot Games and they can do whatever the damn pleases. And I feel bad for all the people that has been cut off. I feel bad for the casters. I feel bad for the analysts. I feel bad for every single person. This is a region that has won so many times, have won so many championships, have been having so many good players. Scout, Bin, Knight, Yahoo, Gala, Weiwei, On, Elk, Ruler, 369, all these players that I mentioned about have personalities, have good style, have great team play, have all these kind of stuff. And yet we never get to see the story. The only way you have to do it is to trying to get, you know, speaking Chinese and all that kind of stuff, which sadly none of us can do. And then that's it. We're just gonna leave the LPL as the way it is right now. A region that has success but little to care about. A region that will never even get to see the light of day. It doesn't matter how many world championships you won. It doesn't matter how many trophies you've done. You realize that everybody has a price to pay. Axe T1. They won the last 2 world championships and they can't even keep their team together because of salary cuts or something. Ask so many teams, like 100 Thieves. It doesn't matter how much successful you are, you're always going to be a provisional guest slot. It doesn't matter. Esports is a 1-year thing. One season you become the most dominant region ever, you become more well-liked, the next thing you know, you're unemployed. That's the reality of esports in general. And that's the reality of LPL in general. Because fans do not even pour a single cent in their dollar to make this work, we are left with this. A cold, horrible, bloody murder on the streets of Riot Games, and nobody even batted an eye. While everybody's carving up turkeys for Thanksgiving and all that kind of stuff, they are carving up the region that has been successful, all for cheapness and dollar. They dry them all dry. They dry them up and squeezed every single last of it. Their blood, their sweat, their tears, all their work for your benefit. For your benefit. So, the point I'm making is this. The LPL is dying, but I will not give a but I will not be the one to say that I'll be stop watching the LPL. I don't give a damn if it's Chinese. I don't give a damn if it's any language, of course. I will try my best to talk about the LPL, which means that I'll be trying my best to talk about the LPL through the off season, if there's going to be an off season, of course. And then I'll try my best to tell the story of the LPL the way it's supposed to be. The way that Riot should not supposed to be. And if Riot does not want to tell about the story of the LPL, so be it. Nightmare can still continue the story. Sam can continue the story. Few people can do the story. But unfortunately, not everybody will. And I am shocked, but I'm not surprised. Consider who they are. Consider what they can do. And what can they hurt the most in order to get what they want. They're the bully in their story. And if you stand up to the bully, not only you get crushed, you get absolutely humiliated and you'll never even see the light of day. It is sad. The whole situation is sad. The wording, the way it's been treated, the way that this region has been successful but never even got to say today, it saddens me. But consider this is Riot Games we're talking about, and consider the situation. It is not surprising to you, isn't it? Isn't it? Well, no, it isn't. It's not. So, in a couple of minutes from now, I'll be playing the new TFT Set 13 into the Arcane. And then you got a lot of people talking about LTA and LEC offseason. And LCK, of course, with so many hooplas going around. But I look at the LPL. I look at this region. I look at their stories. I look at there's so many great plays from so many years ago. I look at Pastry Time, I look at Emily Rand, I look at Raz, I look at Clement Chu, Froskurin, Atlas, Papa Smitty, all these other good people that told the story of this region, that told the story the best. And I'll be going back to them. I'll be going back to one of the best matches in LPL just to listen to their voices. Because their voices matter. Their stories, their voices matters to you, Riot. And unfortunately, you murder them so cold-bloodedly, so horrendously, that you just walk out there and smile with a grin on your face and hands full of bag of money. And you just got away with it. Because nobody cares about the LPL English, except the few people do. And that is a story that I want to tell to each and every one of them. The LPL English die for Riot's sins. But it shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't have to be this way. But it is what it is. And we move forward. because we have to, or otherwise they will do the same to the LCK, to the LEC, and even the LTA. And if you're thinking your region will be safe right now, you have another thing coming, buddy. It's not. So that should do it. That is my 2 cents about the LPL English being murdered to death. I know it will not bring comfort, it will not bring justice to these people, but I just hope that my story will get out there. Maybe on Blue Sky, maybe on Instagram, maybe all of these things. Maybe it will never see the light of day. But I hope it will give you some comfort. I hope it will give you some motivation to know that you don't have to work for this crappy ass company anymore. You can do things on your own. You can do things that are possible to you. You don't need any company to hold your back. You can just walk away right now. The problem is, I don't know if any people walk away. And as you can see far in the distance, the march of the Saudis are coming in thick and fast with the machetes and bags, and God knows what happens. That is the reality you're facing with right now. And if LPL wanted to kill off the LPL English broadcast for their benefit, so be it. Another horrible mental on the wall for them to hang on, saying that we kill them for the benefit of people. What benefit, Riot? What benefit do you have to your people? It doesn't do anything but prove that you are a murderous, heinous, cold-blooded, despicable, despiseful person that nobody wants to play you. We will play your games, Riot. We will play your games, but we will not even talk about you as a good company, the way Blizzard is right now, or Valve, of course, in some cases. We will never talk to you in the most positive way until all your employees are gone or dead, which, by the way, never happened until the year 2069. So until then, enjoy your Thanksgiving, Riot. Enjoy eating that turkey. Because out there, way down there in the cold, is Nymera, a guy who worked his butt off, never say a horrible, horrible thing, and represent a region that has been successful, that has won so many in their years. And you're not even inviting him to the dinner table. You just let him freeze to death with cold hands and cold feet and all the horrible, horrible stuffy noses. And you just let him die because you just care about yourselves rather than him. Good day, everybody, and have a